principal's first conference, not last year, but the year before last, I talked about the free speech issue and what you can and can't say. And of course, I was a professor at a Virginia university, and I let off a tweet that caused a firestorm that was unbelievable, asking a question in the context of Christian point of view. And it upset the LGBTQ plus community at my college, and all hell broke loose in ways that were unbelievable. I mean, not only did I lose my scholar position, but death threats, all kind of vile things being said, called all kind of names that I wouldn't repeat here, and being told that I had made people feel like they were unsafe and whatever. A tweeted question on my personal feed, not on campus, not at the university, not anywhere near students, offered happily to talk about it, but was smacked down very hard, and it absolutely has a chilling effect on you wanting to go near controversial things or even do the most base things. And I had to really work through that and, realize that if you're going to teach in a university in this climate, you probably should shut your social media account down. If you're going to work at a job or in a law firm or do those things, you probably shouldn't have a social media account, and definitely not be someone that writes opinion columns or anything, because like you talked about at the outset, it's not just the corporate media. Now it's in our universities. Now it's in our churches. It's in our places of work. Everybody has social media policies now, or what you can and can't say. So what I think, we're kind of like the frog in the pot, and the water's been boiling and we're all asleep, because it is everywhere. The censorship, the what you can say, what you can't say, what will happen to you if you say the wrong thing. And that's not the America I grew up in, and that's not America.
Well, thank you all for your resilience, just fighting the good fight out there in the world of journalism. And Sophia, we're sorry you went through that, but we're happy you're here back to share it with us. I want to make sure we turn to the audience. We talked a little bit about audience development, not straying away. So we're turning it to y'all. If you have a question, please feel free to raise your hand and someone will bring you a microphone, I believe. And don't hold back. What's burning over there? All right. Right over here. Awesome. So I will repeat her question. She's saying, how do the audience as readers discern in this moment information that they're seeing?
I mean, I think part of it comes down to understanding the difference between what a journalist actually is and who you're getting your information from, because I think a lot of what happens right now is people have kind of the tendency to just slap the label on themselves and call them a journalist, despite the fact that they're actually, a political commentator, which is important in many ways. It helps fill kind of the void and helps people understand certain issues as well. But journalists, they have a couple of different jobs. They break news, they ask questions, and they get the facts. And if you're not doing those things, that's fine, but then you fall into the commentary gap. And so I think people need to be careful to make sure that they are getting their news from people who are true, genuine journalists, and not people who fall into that commentary kind of lens. And again, it's not saying commentary is not valuable. It is. It, can help people kind of understand and help shape other people's opinions. But journalist versus commentator, I think, is an important distinction in that.
I would agree with him. I'm an opinion columnist, and you should not come to me for the breaking news of the day. You should not come to me for what's happening in Iran or something like that, because that's not something I may have an opinion about it, but that's not fact checking. It's not real journalism. And I love that you've made that point 2 times. And I hope you put up a big banner somewhere that says what a real journalist is, because we don't have that anymore.
And I'll just point out that it's not a new problem. I mean, I remember in the 2016 presidential cycle, logging onto Facebook and being appalled when I'd see my aunt sharing something from like patriotusa.maga.com, these sites that were clearly, I think that was part of the Russian interference campaign too, is setting up these kind of like sock puppet news accounts. And so in some ways, I think it's gotten a little bit, maybe even better than it was, 10 years ago when it was so new that people didn't know the difference, where if they saw something that looked like a news website, they kind of assumed that it was legitimate. So, it's just kind of, it's going to be different for every news consumer, but I think it is really kind of building those relationships with the people that you're reading, especially if they're independent. And, hopefully that, not getting burned by them spreading misinformation, but then over time coming to trust them and including them as part of your news diet.